This episode of Telling Our Stories is sponsored by...
I am often asked if you can participate in focus groups if you work full-time. The answer is a resounding yes. My students have varying work schedules from not working to working part-time to working full-time and part-time, and everything in between. The one thing they all have in common is they all find a way to fit pay for your say into their schedule. There are many ways market research companies conduct focus groups. One is by Zoom, which means you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. I've done Zoom calls as early as 6 a.m. and as late as 9 p.m. I participated in in-person groups up until 9 p.m. and occasionally on the weekends. There are online boards that allow you to participate over several days and at your leisure. There are product tests that last from days to weeks to months and require very little effort. There's even an app that conducts their focus groups from your cell phone. So if you have the desire to participate, there's always a way.
Previously on Telling Our Stories.
I could go there.
Go.
Yes.
Deep throw.
Over.
I never experienced that, and then when I did it, and when someone told me how to do it, girl, go all up in it, choke on it.
Over.
You're gonna see, you're gonna gasp. You know, it's that sensation, and
The tears.
Welcome to Season 2 of Telling Our Stories. But this season is a little different. We're coming to you all the way from Paris, France. I decided to move to Paris briefly to learn the language. Now, while my plan was to immerse myself in French culture to learn the language, God had a bigger, brighter plan for this trip. This time around, I sit down with Black queer men and women across several sexual identities. Now make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss an episode. This is Telling Our Stories, the Paris edition.
Okay, so Nikki, we were saying, like, is there an age that's too young
that's
to
where
start
I wanted
transitioning?
To go. I wanted to go on the fact that as a child, when your child is saying to you, "Mommy, I don't think why I'm not a boy," or "Mommy, why I'm not a girl," he's already questioning his gender identity or her gender identity, and I think that parents have to educate themselves on finding out what can they do to help their child, and also, is it okay to transition before being an adolescent?
Before being an adolescent.
Like, at what
Before
age?
puberty and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
That's a question.
Right.
It is, that's my question.
Right.
Is it too late or is it too early?
Right.
For me,
Because there's
what
people that detransition,
they go back.
yeah.
they go back.
Well,
Because it's too hard. Because the life that they live in, the life that they imagine, and then compared to the life that they live in, is hard for them to handle.
About 36% reported having detransitioned due to pressure from parents, 33% because it was too difficult, 31% due to discrimination, 29% due to difficulty getting a job, 26% pressure from family members, 18% pressure from a spouse, and 17% due to pressure from an employer.
Because I watched a documentary when I was in Barcelona, and Kidi played on, I think it was on HBO, and it's called Trans Neighborhood. And it's about different children who are convinced that they are in the wrong gender. And then when you see the ending of the documentary, some of them are like, they went back.
Yeah.
When they were fully positively sure that they were in the wrong gender.
But because life was so hard for them, they went back.
Yes.
But I've even heard of instances where people went back because they realized that they weren't trans.
yeah.
That they had kind of got swept up in, I guess, the environment that they came up in. Like, for example, there's a guy...
In the ballroom scene.
The ballroom scene.
In the
like,
States,
because
especially.
most of the people that ushered them into the community were trans. And so they just kind of attracted, they drew to them, and they thought they too were trans, and then they realized, no, they weren't trans.
In July 2017, Brandon Miller, also known as Joanne the Scammer, appeared on Janet Mock's podcast, Never Before. He shared that he almost transitioned at 16 because he was influenced by friends who had begun transitioning. But when his mother relocated the family to Florida, his friend circle changed, and he no longer had the inclination to transition.
You know, detransitioning is like, for me, most of people who does this not confused, or when you do this is because either it's you're not tough enough to handle being trans like every day of your life, because it's for a lifetime, you know. Either is the pressure of the family, the pressure of the friends,
the society,
the society, the transphobia, everything. And either the religious background. To transition and say, oh, I want to go back, I don't feel good like this, is either because of religious.
One of those
topic.
things.
Yeah.
But
most of people.
Yeah.
They exist. Not many people, but they exist people who just made a
real
mistake.
mistake, and they like,
they made
I'm
a
not trans.
mistake. And it cannot happen when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you don't have access to everything. First of all, you don't have access to hormones. You don't have access to surgery. So even if you go back, you go back to what? To just being
but that's
what
when
you are,
as a parent you give access to your child
Yeah.
for them to get the proper hormonal treatment.
But I think a lot of
for
parents
them.
get so caught up in being disappointed or being angry or
but they don't understand that at first it's just a social transition. Just helping your kids to get a new name, get new clothes, get a space when he can express his identity and try it, you know.
Right.
And if with everything it just doesn't go well, then he can just go back to being what he was and who he was before, you know.
Right.
But first of all, it's just about social transition.
Right.
Always.
Now,
First
do you
of
think
all,
it's too early? There's an age that's too early. You said before adolescence might be too soon.
for social transition, I don't see
Not
it.
for social transition.
Yeah. For real.
For hormonal.
You know,
For hormonal.
yeah.
For hormonal, do you think this is too early?
Well,
There's
there is a legal age. First of all, in France, it's 16 with the
Your parents
with your
consent.
Yeah, consent of the parents, and 18, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So before you cannot.
Right.
So
But I think I don't know if you feel it, but it's so important now that in ballroom scene people talk more about their life, because before people was really quand tu dis très like they was not talking about their own life. Now I think everybody kind of talk about family stuff, and I hear lots of good story, and we don't have it. I'm always like watching like trash bad story, you know, like Lulu when he will just like put her mother in the story. Like, I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, it's like it's possible. And I think what is important, even, you know, Giselle, when like she just puts families and her mother just with
Because
her like
it is
this.
a blessing. Not everybody has the chance
But
to
I think
get the approval of their parents.
but I think it's important to show also this
That is
story.
possible.
It's possible, because lots of kids are afraid because they
Yeah.
think always the story will end bad.
Yes.
And that's why even like me, like I was not thinking like my mother would good react, because I was like, of course she will bad react, because and if I was in her house she would put me out.
Yeah. Right.
Because I
that was
only
the
watch
stories that you heard.
every story is bad, but when I watch good stories and people with their family, you're like,
Gives
okay,
hope,
it's possible, or maybe you can talk with them. is it like when you say it at the beginning, it was how it was,
Right.
and they was like, okay,
Right.
it was hard maybe, but we talk, but we do and we do, and sometimes it give you hope, so you are like, okay, I don't put this person out of my life, I just talk with them.
It's really important to even to hear it and to see it, because in the ballroom scene, obviously here in France, I would say Paris, we have new young trans kids that's gonna come up, and you have also young people that are questioning themselves, so when they see like trans women and trans men in the scene fully develop and having jobs and stuff like that, so it push them to make the first step. And to piggyback on what we were saying about this how you say it?
Detransitioning.
Detransitioning.
I know a lot of people from the States that became girls because the femme queens in the ballroom scene are the one that's on top. We praise them and
the notoriety.
We carry them or whatever. And some of them wanted that clout.
They wanted that clout. They wanted that attention. They wanted that love and adoration.
Well,
Je connais en France.
okay. Well, the people that I know.
And me, I would say also that once you transition, it's a lifetime journey.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
end somewhere.
Right. Wait, pause right there. Because to your point, I think some of those trans girls in the States that you're talking about are some of the ones that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They transitioned because they wanted the popularity.
Yeah, they wanted
the adoration.
I was
And then
shocked.
once they got it,
Yeah.
and they realized that this is a lifetime journey.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime of hormones.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime of this.
And you talk about
And you
got
realize-
it, and you talk about got it, but some of them detransitioning or detransitioned because they didn't get the clout.
Yeah.
Oh my
And now you out here gagging with boobs.
Yeah.
Not gagging with boots.
With
But
boobs.
it's true.
Oh, with
It's
boobs.
true.
Yes.
With boobs.
Out here
no.
gagging with boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Boots.
Oh,
Nikki said, "Oh yeah."
But you know, I
No
think
shade. And then they,
but it's questioning too that what ballroom like shows like about like this
Microcosm.
of
Microcosm.
English is new, but it's out
because
of time.
that we was talking with Mother Nikki is not all the femme queens are like wow.
Yeah.
It's the femme queen who look like Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, and like it's not like the natural way we'll just see, and I think sometimes even in ballroom like butch queen, like of course they're like, oh my god, femme queen are like this, but they don't like even really for me be there for them. Be I don't know
Good
lots
listener.
of like it's like we love you but we fetishize you,
Right.
Yeah.
but also like they don't give these women support and space and so it's really bizarre,
Yeah.
and so
C'est strange.
always I'm like,
It is.
really
It could be-
support.
Yeah.
you could be a butch queen, but you won't be a fab femme queen.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a it girl.
Not everybody
Not
is an
everybody's
it girl.
So let me.
Not everybody is an it girl.
You are so happy to say that.
It's like he wants somebody to hear that.
Listen, but not everybody is a hit girl.
Right.
So you could be a butch queen, and if you transition, you won't probably be a hit girl. Or a hit boy.
Right.
So if you do transition, for the people who's gonna listen or whatever, or like have question about that, I feel like first of all, reach out to the people who are actually trans, either a trans man or trans woman. Reach out, ask questions, because people actually give the answers. And then if it's for the cloud, Miss you are not a trans girl,
Right.
and you're not a trans man.
Yeah.
You just you're a cloud chaser. That's what you are. So now you do you, and I will do me.
Coming up next on Telling Our Stories.
The ballroom actually gave me the wings, the knife, and the motherfucking shield.
The wings, the knife, and the shield.
Yeah, not the sword, a knife, bitch.
Right.
Okay, you guys have been asking me about the sea moss. Okay, here it is. Here's the plug. It is www.bhaitybloom.com. And if you use promo code CTWS, you'll get 10% off every single time you order. There's a variety of flavors, everything from mango to strawberry to green apple to pomegranate. It is there. Go on over to the website, www.bhaitybloom.com. This product comes directly from St. Lucia. Quite frankly, this is the first time I've had sea moss that doesn't taste like algae. Sea moss is great for improving energy levels, joint pain. Oops, yes, I dropped that. Removing inflammation from the body. And yes, it's perfect for the entire family, even the children. This really is the first time I've had sea moss that doesn't taste like a sea creature. You know that fishy taste. Yeah, it doesn't have that. But listen, follow her on Instagram and Facebook. You see it.
The first time I came to the ballroom, I heard about this, people, Birch Queen, who wanted to transition to be femme queen for the cloud. Like the first year I was in ballroom sing,
really?
The first ball I started to heard this, and it was in 2018. It was so. And I was like, I was shocked. I didn't think it was possible to want to transition for this.
Just for that reason.
No, it's not true,
But it's the ballroom that gives you this. Because if it wasn't for ballroom, it would not give you that.
Yeah.
So I've never been to a ball. I had never been to a ball until I came to this one. This is
yeah.
my first ball. And he said to me, and your first ball is going to be in Paris.
So, in Paris, in my ball.
But the thing is, when you came down that runway, I thought you were a gay boy.
Yeah.
And when they later said trans, I said, wait, what?
See that reaction? So the first time I met him, it was at a ball. I think it was the Galaxy. No, it was the Olympic ball.
I was 19.
Child, I'm like at my Revlon table or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I have a video.
Yeah, like we're literally gonna show you because it's a key. Like I'm with my Revlons and stuff like that, and realist is my favorite category. So I tried to.
And that's what I thought he was. Walking as a straight boy.
So I'm like paying attention, but not paying attention, having drinks and stuff like that.
Cis boy.
Cis.
Yeah.
Cis.
Use the right term.
Okay, cis.
Greg, use the right term.
Cis.
So I'm like, okay, then I'm like, okay, what was the category? So obviously he went, and I think it was grand prize.
Yeah.
And I asked my reference, I was like, what was the category? And they said trans man realness. I said, wait, hold on. I went, and I was like,
yeah.
I went straight to the judge's table. I was like, bitch.
Yeah.
At the time, Jack was saying to us, you need trans people. Ballroom would not make sense if you don't have trans people.
Period.
You have to have trans people.
And I was
That's
the
what
first
it's about.
trans man in the
And
world.
it was so... I was like, Jack, where are we going to get them? Well, you need to find them. Little did I know I was going to be one. But
because you were a butch
I was
queen
a butch queen at the time. Yes, exactly. And to me, the ballroom helped me construct socially with more assurance my identity. It would have been much harder without.
Yeah.
But it gave the push, the go. Then after it gives you the validation because you get celebrated.
Yeah.
But mind you talk about you, but mind you actually talk about everybody when you say that. Because ballroom actually gave me the wings, the knife, and the motherfucking shield.
The wings, the knife, and the shield.
Yeah, not the sword, a knife, bitch.
Right.
So no, because of that, like because obviously like our balls, sorry to cut you off, like because it like you speak to my soul, no shade. Like our balls, I used to like come with the crowns. That was my signature. I have a crown here. Like I'm the king. That was my character that I was creating. Because be who you are, right?
Right.
But then I was like, why only our balls? Bitch, I should be a king in everywhere I fucking go.
Right.
So the way I act at a ball, the way I talk, the way I move, that's exactly how I am in real life. So it's giving king outside and king inside.
And it's giving competition.
Yeah.
Competition.
You don't play with that.
I don't.
So I do want to know, like, here in France, and because I'm thinking that maybe this is unique because you all are in ballroom. What's the relationship between gay men and trans girls? Because in the States, I would say it's only been probably the past 7 to 10 years that you see gay men and trans women being friends out in public, out in the daylight. You know what I mean? Where before it was always a divide.
I think it was a divide.
And oftentimes, let me tell you this part. Oftentimes, gay boys were the ones that outed trans women.
Exactly.
You know, that's
right.
right. So I'm wondering if that's...
I was going there.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if has that relationship been the same here?
Well, the trans women that, especially like as far as like the ballroom scene, because actually the trans woman that we actually know was born through the ballroom scene. So pretty much we saw them before. So we was with them before, and when they came out and changed and bitch became the girls, we were still with them.
Right.
So it's not like we raised them, but we grew up together. So the relationship is going to be tight.
Is that just in ballroom though?
Well, as far as me personally, I don't know any other trans woman outside of the ballroom scene.
So what you want to say? Because you seem like
she's like
Yeah, because she's a film queen, so
definitely.
Well, me, I'm going to speak about the club scene experience. And to me, the club scene, I don't know if you went to the BBB.
I did.
Oh, so you never went to a ball where you went to the BBB?
What?
I took him to the ball.
What's wrong with the BBB?
No, like it's a club. Like pretty much like you been to a club but you never went to a ball.
I went to the ball first, and then BBB was that Sunday.
If this is the way you went, this is okay.
To me, at the BBB, I don't feel as though, and it's only to me, that the trans women are accepted.
And I felt like that in Atlanta. In Atlanta, they were
we are
divided.
not accepted.
The trans girls went to different clubs.
Let's be real and be honest. I feel more accepted when I go to the P3 party than when I go to the BBB. Because when I'm at the BBB, I'm amongst gay men who don't give a fuck about women. So why would they give a fuck about me?
Right.
To be honest, why would they befriended me?
Right.
I don't think it's not the word is not accepted.
No, I said befriending.
Yeah.
What I mean by befriending is like, why would they like to be friends with me? We have the thing that we used to have in common is not existing anymore.
Well, the people that you are seeing are the people from the scene, mainly.
Those are because when you go to BBB, you go to the private section, which is the VIP, and you are amongst with the ballroom girls. Right. But outside of that VIP section, when I walk around the club and I go around, I'm not appreciated. And it took me a minute to digest and realize that the reason why you're not appreciated, not even looked out or whatsoever, is because you are in a gay club, and on top of that,
you're a girl.
You're a girl, and on top of that, you're a trans girl. And on top of that, I'm gonna go even further into the colorism. I'm a black trans woman. Because I would have been that light skin or that white trans woman. Them niggas would have holler. Let's see what we can get from this bitch. But they're not gonna holler because I'm a black trans woman.
It's interesting that you say that because I kind of feel that from you. And so when I first met you, do you remember when I first met you?
It was at Jack's Airbnb.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I left, when we were leaving that. Right, Jack was doing that. That's a whole nother story. But when
I maybe went a bit too real.
No, we need that. But when we were leaving, I came and I hugged you because I felt that from you. And then when I saw you when we went to karaoke, I made sure I came and I hugged you too because I feel that from you. And I don't want you to feel that from me.
Okay.
I can see it. I can see because you look like you're observing everything.
Always.
Yeah. I saw that in
when you get into a space, you have to observe because if you don't observe what's around you, you won't see it coming.
Okay, bitch. Say that shit twice.
And you gotta first know where's the exit.
Right.
The first thing you check When I was in New York City, the first thing you need to know about where's the exit, bitch. Because if something happened, you need to know where to get out.
Because you will get.
And that's the part of being black, period. You
And that's the part of being black.
and then you black and gay, or then you black and trans. You got to know how to get out.
Double whammy. Double whammy on your head. That's why you get a bounce back with a, you know.
Right.
And when I'm in a club, a gay club, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
On the next episode of Telling Our Stories.
I think a lot of people are addicted to porn and don't realize it.
And this is.
And there have been studies that have shown when you watch porn repeatedly, one, there's a disconnect. You don't know how to have emotional connections with people. And it changes the shape of the way
The
you...
brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is this thing sometimes is hurtful about gay men, about like trans women, about lesbian, about trans men even, you know.
I didn't talk.
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
going to.
Yeah, over. It's like really hurtful because like you think like we are in the same flag, so we have to together and
Get
it's
along,
so
but we don't.
yeah.
Support a trans child,
Now, mind you, I come from a situation where my mom, she's working on it. She's a big fan too.
She's a big faggot.
Baby,
But you're not trans.
moving in between, honey. You know the
Non-binary.
Whatever I get, it don't matter. My mom is here for it. And shit.
Right.
She don't mind whatever.
Right.
If I start rolling myself t-shirts tomorrow, she here for it.
Okay.